Okay. So for today's topic, listening, I'll be discussing everything you need to know about the listening subtest, what what sort of preparations you have to undergo in order for you to pass the listening test. So for starters, IELTS examination comprises of four subtests. So we have the listening, reading, writing, and then your speaking. If you will be taking the test through computer-delivered exam, then your speaking test will be on the afternoon. In the past, speaking used to be the first test. For example, I'll be taking examinations tomorrow, May 23. Then my speaking could be today, or perhaps yesterday, or it could be on Sunday, or on Monday even. So, because of the bulk of test takers before, it's somewhere around 80 to 200 candidates at once. So, the speaking test is scattered across 4 different days. It could fall on the same day as your written exam, or it could be on the different day. But now that we do the test through the computer-delivered means, we no longer have to overbook those candidates. If we have 10 participants for tomorrow's test, all of them will be able to undergo their speaking test on the same day. So there's no need for an extra day. But one thing is for certain, if you book your May 23rd exam, which is tomorrow, if you book your May 30 exam, which is a week after that, your listening test is the first test. Okay, so we don't have to talk about speaking or writing or reading today because our topic is purely about the listening test. So, for some good news first, listening is, by the way, the easiest among the 4. So if you ask me, which among the 4 areas of the IELTS should I need to put my focus on, then you don't have to actually put any effort. I'm not saying that you have to put an effort in order for you to fail. Because if you do that, no, if you put an extra effort just for you to fail every single question, just for it to make an incorrect answer, then definitely you will fail. But the effort needed for you to survive the listening test is different than the different types of exams. So the test taking strategy we do in reading, like if you attended my last week's reading discussion, that was crazy difficult. Many people were confused. What's true, what's not given, what's false, how to do the multiple headings, matching headings to paragraphs. That was your reading. Writing is even crazy. Now it's even crazier to think about. Speaking, it could lead to a different pathway that sometimes you wouldn't even expect. But listening is listening. No? It's easy. And statistics show us that it's actually very easy. In the Philippines, our average band score is 7.0. Meaning, test takers get an average of 30 out of 40 correct items in their test. So, meaning of average, out of the 200,000 test takers in a year, this is the median score. Okay? Of course, you have to ask yourself, where are you in this 200,000 test takers? Maybe you're an outlier. Talagang bongga ka talaga, nandito ka sa pang 3, pang 2, di ba? So, may mga nakaka-perfect dito na score. Some of them will be the one pulling the median score up. There are also people who perform poorly that they are the ones pulling the score down. But the idea here is very simple. In the Philippines, we have more than 75% of the test-taking population not enrolled in any review centers like this one. And yet, our median score is impressive. It's a band 7. Diba? So if you're going to think about it, it's actually good news, particularly for those who are looking for an OBS. Let's talk about this. Many of you guys who are planning to take the IELTS either are taking this examination because you want to migrate, you want to study, or work. So it belongs in those three categories. Whether you and your family are planning to stay there for good, or you're just planning to study or work as a nurse, as a professional, as a skilled worker, definitely there are some parameters that the country you wish to go to, okay, is requiring you of something, correct? So for example, I want to study this particular course at this particular university in Canada, and the registrar said that this is the score I have to get. You just have to get an OBS of 6. That is what the university told you, okay? So this is your example number 1. Now, sir, I am a crane operator, and I'm planning to work in the UK. I am required to give them an OBS of 5.5. Meanwhile, there is this nurse who is planning to work in the UK, 7 listening, 7 reading, 6.5 writing, and 7 speaking. So this is not overall band score requirement. This is what we call the individual band score requirement. There's a specific range, the number that you must achieve in this particular area. Okay? There's this particular score in a particular subtest. Otherwise, if you imagine, as a nurse planning to work in the UK, even though you get 9 in listening, 8 in reading, but only 6 in writing, even though you get 9 in speaking, since this doesn't match, it doesn't reach the requirement, you have to take the test all over again. That was in the past, but because today it's much more lenient, mas generous sila when it comes to retake, you can do the 1 skill retake since you have 3 subtests already okay. So I just want to give you guys a very short explanation about those requirements. So if you know what band score you're looking for, whether it's OBS or individual, the thing is you need to get an impressive score in the listening subtest. So if you imagine this, I'm planning to apply for my Canadian visa, and this visa is what we call the express entry. All right. So after all the calculations were made, I have to secure a CLB 6. CLB, or Canadian Language Band, is similar with your UKVI CEFR. It's another term that they use. And it has an IELTS equivalent. So you have to Google that, all right? So CLB 6 is 5.5 OBS. CEFR is similar. We have the similar grading system. So CLB 6, for example. So CLB 6 means you get listening of 6, speaking of 6, reading and writing no less than 5.5. That's it. Are you getting the point? That's your CLB 6. Now, OBS, or overall band score, I have to secure the overall band score of 6, for example. So if you get the listening score of 8, reading of 5, writing of 4, and speaking of 5. So we add them together. So I have my calculator here. 8 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 4. That's 5.5. Okay? You still weren't able to reach the OBS 6 because the computation here is going to be divided by 4. Okay? So you have to understand that. So look at that. Even though your score in writing is only 4, even though your score in reading and speaking were only 5, you were still able to secure 5.5 average just because your listening test score was able to pull the score up. So that is how important the listening test is for people who are planning to secure their skilled work permit, their immigration visa. I just want to highlight how easy it is to do that. Okay? So if there's a test that you don't have to worry much about, it's listening. That's it. Is reading a test you have to worry about? Yes. Is reading a test you have to worry about? Sure. Writing, of course. But listening is already given. Huwag mo lang sadyain na magmali. Just don't put an extra effort to make incorrect answers, and you're good. So you have 4 sections. In the past, they referred to it as sections, but now we refer to it as part. So instead of hearing section 1, you will now hear part 1 instead. 40 items, 40 minutes. This is only applicable for the pen and paper based exam, the traditional method. Because now we are shifting to a computer-based test. It's 30 minutes listening while answering, plus 2 minutes to check. It's no longer for you to transfer. Because ito yung sistema before eh. You have a speaker, it could be in front, it could be surrounded, it could be surrounded by speakers in a hotel. That was the test before. And the test takers will have their tables, their armchairs. You have 1.5 meter apart from your seatmate, front, back, left, and right. Okay, so they measure that, they have this parameter. So here in Cabanatuan City, we conduct that exam in Harvest Hotel, in La Parilla, and in Microtech. Sometimes we conduct it also in the Podium in Capitan Pepe. So those were the venues of the test before. So imagine, you will listen to a recording, you will take down your notes, there will be corrections along the way. Naturally, you have to edit your work. And the 10 minutes extra time, once again, this is only for the pen and paper-based traditional method. You have to transfer all the items you have answered in those questions individually on a separate sheet of paper, which we call answer sheet. That was the struggle before. But now, everything is clickable. You drag and drop, you click some boxes so that it's marked as an answer, you move some items, okay, while you answer. So, sir, I really want to do the pen and paper based test. Well, you have to hurry because by June, it's now obsolete. So we are eradicating this method. You can take pen and paper based tests in other countries, but by the end of 2026, all the countries will be shifting to the computer based test by 2027. So I don't know, for example, in Malaysia, they still conduct pen and paper until September. You can check it out. Or in Peru, in Congo. So if you really want to take the pen and paper based, and Philippines no longer offer pen and paper based tests, then you have to check other countries for that. Because by June, this will now be obsolete. Okay? So how times have changed. In 2018, no one seems to want to take their test through the computer-delivered method. But now, the pen and paper base is obsolete. I'm old. 2018. Such 8 years ago. Okay? So, that's it. So you have 2 minutes, not for you to transfer your answers one by one, but for you to check your work. So here's what one of my students asked me. I was actually traveling hindi ko makakalimutan tong moment na to. I was traveling by bus coming home from Manila, I rode the 5-star. And one student messaged me, which picked me. Tigil ako talaga. Sir, are we allowed to use scratch paper during the test? And I said, yes, you're allowed. You're allowed to ask for the invigilator for scratch paper. You're given a pencil. So what if I combine the method of pen and paper and computer-based, where I will first write my answers on a separate sheet of paper, and then I have to do it one by one for 2 minutes. So here's the crazy idea. What if you do that? Sabi ko nga, no? But let's make it easier for you. I'll give you all the correct answers. All you need to do is to transfer those answers one by one. Do you know what you have to do? There are 1 to 140 boxes listed here, like that. If you click those boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if you click those, you will be taken to the item. This is just an example. So for example, this is item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I click this box. I'll be taken to item number 7. I have to type the answer. I have to click whatever I have to. That's it. Okay, I have to find pieces, complete puzzles, if that's my test is about. So you have to do that for 2 minutes. I told this student. Here's the catch. You don't have to get the answers anymore. You just have to transfer them. And here's the answer key I'm giving you already. I'm telling you guys, you can't do that. You will not be even able to reach half. So please do not experiment in the test. There's a reason why we are telling you that something is not allowed, because it's simply impossible to do. Okay, what if we ask Sir Irvin? Sir Irvin is the CEO of Niner. And during his free time, ang hobby niya mag-take ng exam. He was able to get 9 in listening for God knows how many times already. If he has taken the IELTS 10 times, then he was able to get 9 in listening 10 times. That's how impressive he is when it comes to this. Let's ask Sir Irvin to do that. Sir Irvin, 2 minutes. This is the answer key. Just have to transfer everything. He will slap that answer sheet on my face and tell me I'm stupid, because it simply cannot be done. So please do not do something crazy on the test. Follow the instruction. You listen, you interact, as you answer. Once the 30 minutes is done, you will hear an instruction. You now have 2 minutes, but this is not for you to transfer. This is for you to check. Only to check. So for example, I miss item number 7. I don't have an answer for item 33. So I just have to click 7, answer 7, 33. I have to make a hypothetical guess for item 33. No? And that's it. For example, ito. Item number 7. I don't have an answer. I have to choose between letters A, B, C, D, E. Nakalagay dito, returns box, library computers, monograph collection, reference section, and advisor's desk. Nasaan kaya dito si monograph collection? So may sagot ako sa returns box, A, B, C, D, E. Ang hindi ko na lang nasasagutan si 7. Ang letter na lang nawala is si B. Baka B yung sagot. Utang na naman. Diba? Ganun lang. You just have to make a lucky guess. Like, ano kaya lalagay ko sa 7? Okra kaya, kasi okra yung favorite kong gulay. Diba? So, it should be hypothetical guess. You still have to hypothesize why this could possibly be the most fitting answer for this particular item. Sa pa, 33 daw, hindi nasagutan. 33. Hybrid system installed, successful even in blank. Diba? Ang sagot sa 33 is less windy sites. successful even in less wind. O yun yung nakita ko kasi we're talking about wind turbines. Who knows? Baka matsambahan ko pa. There are many students who are impressed na, oh, tumatama pala ako kahit sa ganun lang. 23. Ito, wag yan, may sagot dito. Okay. Nakalagay dyan, do blank by 29 June. Laser print before blank. So if you're going to recall, ano pa mga dates yung narinig ko kanina? That's it. You just have to remember. You can make a lucky guess. Diba? So, I just don't want you clicking submit kung may missing item ka pa. Okay? Make sure that you have completed the 40 items before you hit the submit button. That's my final suggestion. So general rules is listen intently. What is listen intently? What does it mean? Listen with the intention of getting the answer. Follow the example. This is where many people get it wrong, particularly in the pen and paper base. And please don't fall asleep. Make sure that you are both physically and mentally prepared for the test. So when I say mentally, you have built your mental endurance for the test. Remember, listening is the easiest test. You have to do the reading test afterwards without breaks given in between. You have to do the writing test right after, which, surprise, you're not given any breaks in between. So you have to endure a 2.5-hour long exam. That's 152 minutes to be exact, from start to finish. If you haven't gotten enough sleep the night before, or you drank too much last night to numb your confidence because you're very nervous about the test, okay? So you're not physically prepared. Mentally, you are not confident enough to take the test because you haven't done any practices. So people ask us, what practice is the best for the test? Well, there's no better practice than to do a simulation that is very close to reality. Okay? To do a simulation that is very close to reality. What do I mean by that? Well, you guys are very lucky because at 9.09er, we have invested roughly 2.3 million just to put up our own review center and testing center here in Cabanatuan. We are an official testing center, meaning people, even from faraway areas, let's say you're from Nueva Vizcaya, you don't have a testing center there. You're from Isabela, you are from Pampanga even. In Pampanga, we have multiple testing centers, but if they wish to take the test here in Cabanatuan, they can do so every Saturday. So for example, one candidate wishes to take the test here. And so did that person. He was able to take the test here because we have available testing center here in Cabanatuan City. You don't have to go elsewhere. That's the advantage. And since it is owned and run by Niner, by us, we allow our students to borrow the testing center. Why? Why would you allow us to borrow that? Well, you can borrow it so that you can do your practice there. So imagine, you are doing your practice on the same place you're going to do your test. So we spent 400,000 pesos just to develop this software, this website where you can take the mock exams. on that computer. The UI, user interface, is similar. The appearance, and even the difficulty level. You know why we have the same difficulty level of the test? Because we've been doing this for decades. We were established in 2006. We're 20 years in the business. We know everything, every corners, every turns. Yung mga insider na kami, nakakakuha na kami ng mga dating exam. We're allowing you to experience the test on its natural habitat, on its same level of difficulty. Ayaw nyo ba nun? Diba? So I keep on using this analogy that it seems like we are testing your driving abilities. Diba? Meron ba kayong mga lisensya? You have a license? You have a license? Okay. When you get your license, there is an examiner on the passenger seat. So you have to drive in an actual car, not in a simulation, not in a computer, not in a bus simulator. If you're going to drive a bus, you have to drive a bus. And there's an examiner who will grade you for it. If you have to drive a motorcycle, an examiner will be assessing you for it. That's the idea. Okay? But again, we're in the Philippines, we can pay and bribe people. And your license is there without any exams whatsoever. No? But in reality, this is similar to your exam and mock exams preparation. You're going to take your driving license from us. And we're going to let you practice on the same car the days, weeks before you take your test. How's that? Diba? Isn't that a very juicy thing? Isn't that unfair? Diba? To others. This is where you take your test. This is where you do your practice. And the level of difficulty is the same. Meaning, if my target band score is 7, and I keep on getting 7, 7.5 in my mock, you're closer to it than you're expecting. You're much, much closer to your goal. Okay? So we use also the mock test to gauge our abilities. Like, no one gets 4.5 in mock who will be getting 7.5 in the actual test. Ano yun? Kumain ka ng magic beans ni Goku? Diba? Magic? 4.5 ka sa mock, 7.5 ka sa exam. It's not going to happen. It will take a miracle. So if you're getting 6.5, 7, 7.5 consistently, then that's the fluctuations of scores you might be getting. Your score is playing around that area. Okay? So please, please, please practice under the exact same conditions of the test through our mock exams. When? Tuesday and Thursday. Why not Monday? Why not Sunday? I mean, we have the keys. It's up to us which days we want to conduct the mock. But we chose Tuesdays and Thursdays for reasons. Okay? Number one, it's because we have tests on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we do it on Tuesday. We have classes on Wednesday. So you don't just have to do mock for you to be good, for you to improve, for you to be better. Hindi lang naman mock ang susi. You also have to attend classes. So we do the lecture, you do the mock, you do the lecture, you do the mock. That's a cycle. Okay? Because mock is assessing your effort, assessing your abilities. Let's say, I want you to run an 800-meter sprint and you jog. So you did the wrong thing. So I want you to be better at your cardio, but you lifted weights. That's the wrong thing. It's the wrong exercise. So no one is coaching you yet. No one is teaching you. That's where lectures and coaching comes into the picture. We will help you improve. Like, what is the area that you are having difficulties the most? Which part of your preparations are you struggling at the most? So that's where we want to strike. Okay? So, colored papers, ganito po yung appearance ng ating answer sheet in the past. Again, this will be obsolete. This will now be a thing of the past. It will now be in the archives. Okay? How times have changed. So, sir, what's the difference? What are the key differences between computer-based exam and pen and paper IELTS? So, we will be watching this video. Uy, ang dami na natin sa Zoom. We already have 8 participants. So, I keep on telling you different types of tests, the ways how drag and drop technique works, right? You click this, you place it right here, you do it like that. You know, I can explain to you, I can tell you a story of an experience about something. But no one, trust me, listen to me, no one beats, nothing beats first-hand experience. So please, experience the test by taking the mock exams. I cannot highlight this enough. We are giving you an unfair advantage already. Please bite the meat in front of you. Grab it already. It's already there. It's just waiting for you. Okay? Alright. So, sir, how to get 9 in the listening test? You just have to get the perfect score, 40 out of 40. I had a student in December. She was only able to attend 4 times. She got 9 in listening. There is also an old lady, perhaps late 40s, who was also able to get a 9 in the test recently. Kayo, ang babata nyo pa, oh. What's your excuse going to be? Are you just going to let an old lady beat you up in terms of the listening test score? So you have to do better, okay? Do better than what you are currently doing right now. So, shit, wala akong battery. Wala akong battery, saglit. Ito ba? Kailangan. Medyo nakapag-charge na siya. Okay? So, in the test, we have the before listening phase, we have the during, and we have the after.
Check.
So in the before listening stage, this is where you read the questions in advance. If you will be taking the pen and paper base test, this is where you can encircle or underline keyword. But we don't have such liberty in the computer delivered exams anymore. So you just have to remember your keywords using your eyes. Okay? Look for keywords. So what keywords are we looking for anyway? So for example, I have here the test. Who advised Yumi to join the local library? Her flatmate, Mary Ann, the librarian, Mary Ann, and Yumi's flatmate. So I just have to wait, anticipate, flatmate, librarian, Mary Ann, and to make something out of it during the audio recording phase. What items cannot be borrowed from the local library? So I have here an image of books, DVDs, CDs, and newspaper. Okay, so I just have to wait, anticipate. If the speaker mentions books, so I have to wait whether books can be borrowed or not. DVDs, whether they can be borrowed or not. Whether CDs can be borrowed or not. But in my experience, again, this is just my experience, the audio isn't playing yet. Kakaintindihan po, hindi pa po siya piniplay. The audio is not playing yet. I am given a minute to look for items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking for question 1. What should I wait for here? What clues should I anticipate beforehand? So upon inspecting item number 2, we have books, DVDs, CDs, and newspapers. Just a guess. Which do you think cannot be borrowed from the library? DVD? VHS tape to? Okay. CDs? Ano? Newspaper? DVD? Okay. I've tried borrowing a VHS tape, a CD, and a book in a library. God forbid, that's a library you can borrow books. Okay? But why aren't we allowed in a general setting to borrow newspapers in a library? Why? Why do you think we're not allowed? Meron. Okay? Bakit hindi siya pwedeng hiramin sa library? Hindi rin. Because this is reference material. Okay? This review center, we used to buy newspaper every single day. You can borrow our books, but you cannot take our newspapers home. Same setting. Di ba? Punta naman kay library. Ano ba yan? Wala tayong mga hindi nagla-library eh. Oh. Have you been to a library, Benica? Have you been? Kayo, siguro di pa napupunta ng library. Sabi ni. Tumambay naman kayo doon. Puro sa Starbucks, saka puro sa mga chikahan. Okay? So, that's what we're doing. Even before the audio is played. We don't just waste this 1 minute time. We anticipate what we're about to hear. We wait for clues. And now, during, this is actually the most difficult part. Why? Because listening test isn't actually testing your listening skills. Did you know that? It's testing, it's assessing, it's evaluating your what? Multitasking skills. Why? You're looking at the questions and you are making understanding about them. You are understanding, making sense about it. And then you have to use your mouse and keyboard to answer. Diba? Do you like multitasking? Of course not. Why? As humans, we don't like multitasking because our focus becomes broad. We have to narrow our focus so that we can do something. If we do something one at a time, do we perform good or bad? We perform good. But if you juggle multiple things at once, you could somehow be inefficient in those others' tasks. Let's say you're cooking an egg and you are washing some plates. Because you're hyper-focused on washing the plates, the egg got burned. Diba? But if you do things one at a time, it's more efficient. The problem is, you can't do one at a time. You're looking at the camera, you're looking at the screen, you're using your mouse to hover, and you're using your keyboards to type your answers. If there are some answers that are needed to be typed. Diba? After, never fail to review your answers. On the recording, you'll hear, you're now given half a minute to check your answers. So see how generous the listening exam is. You're given 1 minute to look for questions before you hear the recording. You are given time to listen and answer. And you're, again, given half a minute just for you to check those items previously before you're given another minute for the next section. Masyadong pamigay na to. Diba? It's like you are serving the answers on a spoon. You're spoon feeding it. Like, just say, Just have to open your mouth and it's there. Diba? Now, the level of difficulty increases. It progresses towards the end. So let's talk about the exam content. Okay? Let us talk about the exam content. Okay, wait lang . Okay, why is the exam gets increasingly more difficult as we progress towards the end? Any encounters about this? Any encounters about this, Benica? Why do you think that the examination progresses, gets more difficult as it progresses towards the end?
To test the ability.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Have you tried doing the mock? Can you falsify or agree with this interjection that the examination increasingly gets difficult? Why? Bakit? Paano siya nagiging mas mahirap padulo? Anong dahilan? What about you, ma'am? Have you tried doing the mock? Oh. Like, at the beginning, you were like, okay, dali naman niya, but padulo na, ano ba to? Ano ba yung nahanap ko? What am I looking for? Because look at the topic. Sections 1 and 2 are easier topics because this is social context. What is social context? Social has something to do with other people. There are just two people talking about shopping, holiday reservations. In this case, it's a library. In this another example, this is about the birth certificate. Diba? One person asking questions, another one supplying the answer. That's it. That's your section 1. Section 2 is still going to be of social context, of social relevance, but instead of two people talking, there's now only one person discussing, giving an informational talk. Take note, we consider both sections 1 and 2 to be easy, but section 2 carries the most difficult part of the test, which is map. Why do you think maps and section 2 are compatible? Well, it's because someone is telling you about directions, giving you directions about the map, giving you tips how to save money in booking reservations. Diba? Section 3 and 4, why is section 3 and 4 difficult? Not only are they about academic, not only are they about school, you will hear about projects, you will hear about articles published, you will hear some information on a specific topic that is not as generalized as the previous section. And what makes section 3 even more difficult is that it's not just two people talking, there are more than two people talking. It could be up to 5 people talking at once, which makes it even confusing. Whereas number 4, just take a look at this example I gave you. I mean, come on. It's about wind turbines. A person discussing about wind turbines. Is wind turbine a topic that you and your friends would talk about when you go to Starbucks, for example? Of course not. This is a topic that you will hear when you go to a convention. It's boring. It's about studies. It's about articles and stuff. That's why it's academic context. And the other problem is that sections 1 and 2 particularly asks for nouns and pronouns as answers. Where's the restaurant? What type of item is not allowed to be borrowed in the library? A fucking newspaper. But in sections 3 and 4, the answers here are verbs and adjectives and even adverbs. What is wrong with verbs, adjectives, and adverbs? They have forms. And an incorrect form that you will answer is an incorrect answer. So let's say your answer is given. Sorry. There's a be verb before the blank. And you heard it something like this. We have to give. Give. Look at what you heard. You have to give this to Kevin before you take the payment. So, item must be given. That is the actual correct form. But since you only heard give, you assume that that's already the correct answer. You didn't even bother correcting the form. So your answer is wrong, even though that is exactly how you heard it. See, you have to even shift. You have to even manipulate the form just for it to fit in the context of your answer. That's why sections 3 and 4 are considered more difficult. Correct. Okay. Another would be the accent. Okay? There are actually two barriers to the listening exam. One is speed. We cannot do anything about speed anymore because it's actually slowed down. So that students like you can catch up. Yes, mabagal na po yan. No? And another is accent. What is wrong with accent? Many of us are not well particular about differences in accent. We just know about the English. And particularly, this English is American English. That is why, if you encounter an American accent in your exam, you are very lucky. Why? Because in the Philippines, who has been a colony of America for decades, in the 1900s, we have been influenced greatly by American stuff. Like, look at the songs you listen. Diba? What movies have you watched recently? Like, my wife and I watched The Devil Wears Prada 2. We're about to watch The Mandalorian soon. Those are made in Hollywood, and the accent they use is American. Oh, what movies, what series are you watching right now? Sir, K-drama po. Alang kinalaman yan dito sa English. Diba? That's why, even commercials, right? When you see ads on YouTube, you can easily recognize them because the accent is American. So we are heavily exposed with American accent. For the British accent, on the other hand, this is commonly used in the exam. Why is British accent the most common accent in the exam? Did you know that the audio you hear on the recording, okay, is recorded in University of Cambridge? Which is where? Which is where? Which is in the UK. So definitely the people there uses a heavy British accent. Not to mention, as Filipinos, we're also accustomed to British accent. We listen to British bands. Like, One Direction is a British band. Ed Sheeran is... We watch Harry Potter, 1975. Queen. Diba? For crying out loud. Adele. Peppa Pig, buta na. Oh. So we also are able to distinguish that. Like if we heard someone say, breakfast, diba? Breakfast. We understand that this is breakfast. That is what accent is about. It's about how you heard the pronunciation, but you can still recognize what they mean. The only reason why we study accent isn't for you to copy the accent for speaking. That is completely wrong. We don't want to use any of those distinguished accent in speaking. Even American, the way how Americans speak is very fast. Like imagine Curry, LeBron, Durant being interviewed in an NBA game. They speak like they're very lazy. I don't know, we got rebounds and then we have to talk short a lot and the coach and everyone's got... Ganun sila magsalita. They eat the words literally. When they pronounce the word carton, they will say carton. Certain, cotton. Ganun sila kung kinakain nila talaga ang syllable. Diba? So instead of you using your accent training or accent lecture for speaking, we actually use it for listening. So that we can recognize how words are pronounced so that we know what adjustments we can make. Are you clear? Okay, so to make my point even more valid, let's listen to some comparisons.
Please call Stella, ask her to bring these things with her from the store: 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She will scoop these things up into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Okay, so there was this study who asked certain people from various places to pronounce this paragraph. Why this paragraph? Because this paragraph virtually contains all the phonetic alphabet. Okay? So, and this is how an American person will use his or her American accent to pronounce this paragraph. The question is, did you recognize? Was it easy? Yes. The only negative thing is that she's fast. Like this. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. Lazy. That's what we call gliding through the speech. That's an American feature, the American accent feature. British, on the other hand.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store: 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
And we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. There's no R. That's a feature. Sometimes British accent doesn't have a T even. Like when Ed Sheeran pronounced the word better, instead of saying beta, he says beta. There's no T, there's no R. So you just have to recognize the type of British accent. This is Australia. Sino punta Australia? Ikaw? Ganito magsalita yung mga tao doon, ha?
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store: 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we'll go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Kaya nga nakalagay po dito sa Australian, for those who are cursed. No? Ikaw yung pagkasama ka ng barkada, hindi natutuloy yung gala o umuulan. Ganyan. No? Ikaw yung balat sa tropa. Okay? So, yun po yung nakaka-experience ng Australian accent. Wala namang binago di ba? Pero grabe siya magsalita di ba? 3 ray bags and we're gonna be the ones at the train station. Ang tawag nila doon ay vowel shift. Di ba? Yung August. Di ba? When you hear people pronounce this, it's just August. Simple, right? Okay, but if an Australian person will say this, it's August. October. God. Good luck. Alright? Sino Catholics dito? Yan. Mag-pray kayo kay St. Jude, Lord. Ito po, wag po matapat Australian accent sa listening. Okay? Pray. Alright? Pray that you don't encounter Australian accent. Because again, I have my wife's best friend now migrated to Australia. And my wife's cousins married an Australian guy, and sometimes we talk because pag nag-get together sila, ayaw nila nakikipag-usap ng English, diba? So, ako na nakakaintindi sa accent niya. Nakikipag-usap sa lasing, right? So they really glide through the word. Imagine even a simple cow. That's it, cow. They pronounce it as cow. It's a vowel shift. Okay? So really, good luck. Alright, so we have multiple choices how you answer it.
Section 3. Listen to a female student, Amina, talking to her tutor, Dr. Bryson, about her project on local history. Amina has completed a first draft of the project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Again, 1 minute time to look. What are you going to do? Of course, to look at items, di ba? Amina's project is about local blank. Particularly like the blank. And Amina's
Now listen
surprised
carefully to the
because
first
D.
part of the discussion and answer questions 21 to 26.
Well, Amina, thanks for letting me have your draft in such good time.
Oh, that's all right. I was just very anxious to hear what you think of it. You can see that I decided to change the topic. I had been interested in looking at Bering's factory.
Oh, I think the hospital was a much better choice. In fact, well, I have to say that I thought it was good.
Oh.
There's still lots of work to be done,
Oh, yes, of course.
but there's plenty of good ideas. It opens well, and the first chapter is fine, but the middle section really stood out for me. Most interesting.
That's amazing, because I really didn't find it a bit easy to write.
How long did you work on the whole thing?
Well, I spent about 2 or 3 weeks reading and doing general research, and then I dashed the writing off very quickly. So about 4 weeks in all.
Well, that's about par for the course. You've got a while yet to make the changes.
Oh, right. No problem.
Right, let's have a look at my notes here.
Alright. So why did we answer A, C, and C for items 21 to 23? Sabi, I was interested in Bering's factory. Sabi ni Dr. Bryson, no, I think the hospital is a much better choice. Which means that initially, the project was about the factory, but she somehow shifted to a hospital, which is now better. Kaya yun po yung project. It's what the project is about now. Then, sabi niya sa introduction, it opens well. The first chapter is fine. So look at the adjectives. Well, for intro, first chapter, fine. But the middle section really stood out. Diba? Stood out well for me. Most interesting, sabi pa niya. So nagustuhan niya dyan, si middle section, kaya C. Oh, because, diba, yun na yung keyword. I didn't find it easy to write. Didn't find it easy is synonymous with found it difficult. Talaga ba? Kasi hindi ko siya nadalian eh. Kaya siya na-surprise. So C is the answer for item number 23. That's how you answer multiple choice. Now, this is how you answer maps. Again, maps are difficult topics. Okay? They are difficult questions. In this type of the map, we have our own reference. Okay? Pag sabi natin reference point, we always remain here. Because there's also a kind of map where you have to travel together. Like, okay, we have to move forward now, we have to turn left, we have to turn right, we have to go straight ahead, there's a curve. Something like that, okay? So, but this time, the speaker will mention something over here, then you have to go back at the reference point. That's what I mean. So one thing to help me out is that when I do maps like this, my eyes are on the map, my left hand is pointing at the monitor, literally. Okay? Also, be particular with your directions. Know your directions. North, east, south, and west. If you don't have a compass, remember north is always on top. South is always down. West is on the left. Right is your east. Okay? Alright. And of course, your secondary directions. Northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, middle, adjacent, beside, surrounding, around, above, on top of, amidst. So look for those directional guides. Okay? So let's listen.
Well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic site. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport. There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers in the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. OK, let's climb down now. We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
Okay, so we have our answers already. Sabi niya dan, on the Olympic side, car park. This is number 15. Look at the pond. Then sit on the benches and smell the flowers. Surrounding the benches, yun po si Rose Garden. Okay, that's why it's 16 Rose Garden. And then, north, there's a lake. Look at the description. With a small island in the center, you can also hire boats, but you can see it. Andito tayo eh. Diba? We're here. The trees are blocking our view. And then, but if you look through the trees, through means pagitan, in between, no? Ito yung box na yun, which is a cafe, that gives the final clue for our answer, number 17. So, remember, both British and American spelling are accepted. But since we are much more acquainted with the American spelling, and even American spelling is more internationally recognized, please use American spelling. So, remember your answers must always be full. Okay? But, remember, your example, the format of the given example still remains superior. It supersedes everything. No? For example, I told you that your answer should always be full. But in this case, so we have here the upcoming matches. So we have here the venue. And we have the date of the competition. So the venue here was British Sports Center. And the date was blank. This is for item number 11. Then here, item number 12 is blank, which is the venue. And in this case, the date is 12 na lang. Sept. Yan. Alright, so we will be having a match for tomorrow at September 11. The Yellow Knights versus the Green Goblins. Ako po, na-delete ko. Ulit. Yan. September 11. Your answer is September 11. Tomorrow, British Sports Center, September 11. The Green Goblins versus the Yellow Knights. The day after, on the 12th of September, the match will be against the Blue Falcons and the Red Warriors at the same venue, British Sports Center. Yan. Now you will be wondering why your answer for 11 and 12 are wrong. It's because you didn't follow the format. Look at British Sports Center spelling. It should be like this. Sir, I thought we can use American and British and it doesn't matter. But remember, if there's a format of the example given, you have to follow that format. Why? Because this is how it should be named. The question is, kokopyahin mo na lang, hindi mo pa kinopya. Diba? That's their question eh. Imagine my name is Kevin, and you decided that dahil this is the way how I encounter Kevin, this is the spelling of Kevin every time, that it's no more, there's no more Kevin like this. Right? Nagigets yung point? Or like this. What if this is how it was spelled eh? This is how it was spelled. So you're replacing it with what you know outside the premises of the understanding of the exam. Copy mo lang. So what about this? Bakit mali si September 11? Because there's a format. Your answer should be 11 Sep. Sir, I thought bawal po kaming mag-shortcut. Well, yes. But remember, format of the example given still remains superior. Okay? Just have to copy it. Singular answers, may S, may ES, may ED, past forms, use the proper forms. For dates, any format would do. Alright? If you haven't heard, or if you don't have any format of the example, you're free to use like 23rd of November. You can also write 23rd November, like that. Or 23 November. There are so many ways to write November 23. Okay? But if there's a year, okay, please copy the year. Okay, policy numbers. Let's say you heard AE. Ito nating purple para may contrast. AE 549-6574. That's AE 549-6574. So we have three options here. Okay, are you seeing the options? We have option 1. We separate AE 549-6574 by spaces. We have another AE 549-6574 by hyphens. And this one, we don't have any spaces or dashes anymore. Which do you think is the correct answer? Which among these three examples right here? To tell you the truth, there's no incorrect answer here. All of them are potentially correct answers. But if you encounter something like, write no more than 2 words and or a number, well, you don't have to be afraid that, oh, I have so many numbers, 5, 4, 9, 6, 5, 7, 4, that's already 7 numbers. This is already wrong. No. When they say, write no more than 2 words and or a number, they refer to a number as a unit that can be categorically counted as a word, which again, I'll be explaining in a bit. All right? But in this case, if you encounter this kind of instruction, all right, this now becomes incorrect. Why? You have AE as 1 unit, 549 as 1 unit, and 6574 as the third unit. It exceeds the write no more than 2 words instruction. So better to not put any hyphens or spaces. So no spaces or dashes, no spaces are needed. They are still considered correct. But if we don't have this ruling, write no more than 2 words and array number, and it says write no more than 3 words, this is counted as 1, 2, and 3. So you are still well within the limits. Alright, same goes with this. 3 words and or a number. Are we clear? Okay. To multiple answers, use a comma. Units of measurement, it depends. If there's a unit of measurement given, okay, you don't have to write the unit of measurement anymore. And then, if you are needed to write the unit of measurement, make sure to spell it out. For example, you're going to write 3M for 3 meters. 3M can also mean 3 million. Okay? So, same with monetary signs.
Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. You will hear 2 friends discussing a course they have just done. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27.
Yes, kayo po sasagot niyan, 21 to 22.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 27.
Oh, Ben, I just remembered I never filled in that form for Nick.
Ah.
Did you do it?
The course feedback form.
Yes. If you want, we can do it together. I've got mine here.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look then. What do we have to do?
Let's fill in the top first. Let's see. Course code.
It's communication in business.
Okay. Communication in business. I do know that, but what's the code?
CB16 something. CB162, isn't it?
That's it. Okay. And dates. When did we start? I remember my birthday's on May 4th, and it was the day after. It must have been May 5th.
Gosh, doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
No. And we finish at the end of this week on Friday, so that's July 15th.
16th.
Oh.
Monday was the 12th.
Yeah.
Right, that was the easy bit. Now, let's have a look. Please give your comments on the following aspects of the course. Okay, what's the first one? Oh, course organisation. What do you think?
Alright, what's your answer? 21 is? What? May 5th, July 16th. May TH or wala? Your answer is good. Okay? Again, I want to remind you guys with write no more than 3 words and or a number. The instruction says write no more than 3 words like this. Let me highlight. Okay? And your answer is a big red juicy apple. Your answer is wrong. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, which exceeds the requirement. So what are you going to do? First, remove articles, a, an, or the. That's the first to go. So you only have big red juicy apple left. Now, apple is important. You can remove all those 3 adjectives in front. Apple remains because what we're looking for is a noun. But you have to answer specifically. What kind of apple? So, should big remain in the list of my adjectives here? Yes, because big determines the size. Should red also be included? Of course, it determines the color, but juicy can be omitted. So, big red apple should now be your answer so that it complies with the no more than 3 words and or a number. Now, let's talk about dates. January 23 to January 25. Okay? This answer also exceeds the right no more than 3 words and or a number rule because 25 is considered a unit, part of a date. Second, third, fourth, fifth word. So what we're going to do here is to change 2 into a hyphen because a hyphen is not a word, it's a symbol. So how many words you have? 4. So remove the repetition. This is now your answer. January 23 to January 25. You didn't change anything with the meaning. You just made sure that it qualifies for the requirement of write no more than 3 words and or a number. Are we clear? Okay. Questions? Ano yung type ko? So I have here an example test. Wait, dapat tayo audio.
Part 2. You will hear an archaeologist who is part of a community project to excavate an ancient village talking to members of the public who are visiting the site. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16.
So A, B, C, D, F, G. What 11 to 16? Forward natin.
For this community project and by people. When the story of the gold coin hit, when you enter the site, please make sure you keep to the paths at all times.
You are here.
There are a few other things, the highlights of the site, if you like, that I want to mention. Take a look at the map. Our present location is marked at the bottom. This year, we've identified the foundations of an ancient bridge. And it's really exciting today because a team of divers are in the river searching for lost objects. To reach the bridge, take the main path ahead of you, go straight on, and keep going till the path bends to the left. You'll see a smaller track leading off to the right. Follow that to take you to the river, where the divers are. You might be interested to see the rubbish pit. This is very near the castle walls in the northwest corner of the site. It actually dates to the time of the castle and not the ancient village. We found oyster shells and fish bones, and we assumed they were thrown from the castle kitchen above. One area we excavated in the first summer uncovered the site of a meeting hall. We knew it was an important building because it had 2 rows of post holes, deep enough to support a large roof. It's the largest structure in the central area of the site, next to the current excavation area. Last year, we discovered a fish pond in the ancient village. Normally, these were beside a river. The pond here is further away, but it's possible the river has moved slightly. Anyway, to get there from here, You turn right at the first information board you come
Right? Ito
to
siya.
and follow the path into the trees. Before you come out of the trees, you'll see it on your right. If you reach the river, you've gone too far. So, does...
That is the end of part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 2.
Okay, so BAGE, not BFGE. So 3 out of 4 correct items. So ganun po yung pag-answer ng maps, okay? Alright po. Again guys, I can explain, I can tell you all the kinds of stories that this is how you do the map like this and that, but nothing beats your first-hand experience. So please, 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 I implore you, please take the mock. If you can't do it at home, there's a way that you can do, if you can do it here, there's a way which you can do it at home. Please send a message dun sa ating 9.09er English kabanatuan na Facebook page. No, magme-message po sila sa inyo ng site. But nothing beats the practice when you do it here. Walang patapat doon. Na? Alright, so if you don't have any more questions, listening, once again, is the easiest out of the 4. Kaya ito po yung pinakamadaling major lecture sa lahat. If you enrolled recently, and this is the first topic you attended, congratulations, this is supposedly, ito po dapat talaga yung unang topic, na? This is the first, this is the start of the cycle. So, yun lang. Tomorrow will be, if not mistaken, I'm planning to do a writing major tomorrow. Okay? Discuss both views if not mistaken. So, that's the end of your listening. Have a nice day ahead. God bless and good luck.